What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all are having a great day so far. Hope you had a great weekend. Getting into this episode of Days of Our Lives, it was good to see Sammy. I love whenever Sammy blow back in town. I often wonder though if they ever think about recasting the role of Sammy due to the fact that Allison Sweeney, her schedule is not that clear. You know what I'm saying? She's busy. She got a lot going on. And I respect the hustle, but I just feel like maybe they ought to think about recasting that role. Even though I hate when long time, characters get recast. I hate it sometimes. It could be a good and bad thing, but if somebody is, pretty central to stories, it's best to do that because it just doesn't make sense for people to be missing when big stuff is going on. Like Sammy popping into town like weeks, months after John's funeral. Her son going through this trial. She just now popping up. I'm like, well, damn, it took you this long to get here. I mean, it's good that you're here because Marlena did say that. Marlena was like, listen, it don't even matter how long it took you. You're here now, which is true. That part is true. But damn, you need to get here at least a day after or something. Not weeks, not months. But it was good to see her, though. I loved her scenes with Marlena. And, it was so relatable how she was talking about, John and, how she was mean to him or she felt like she needed to visit more. And, it's relatable because I feel like a lot of people feel that way when somebody dies. It makes you reflect. You have a reflection. You sit down, you have a moment of reflection, and you think back like, damn, I could have called more. Damn, I could have visited more. Damn, I could have been more nice. Which is true. But at the end of the day, that person who passed, they know you well. You know what I mean? They do know you. They know your heart. They know how you are. So I don't think that the person that passed took it personally. Anytime, and it's no secret, John and Sammy didn't always see eye to eye. Sammy wasn't always the nicest to the man. As far as him being her stepfather, she wasn't always cool about it. But, I think John knew her well enough to know her heart and how she really felt about him. You know what I mean? And he always did, try to support her and stuff whenever she wanted to do certain things, even marry Lucas and whatnot. So I love those scenes. Like, those were definitely tearjerker scenes between her and Marlena. I'm just sure, Marlena just happy to have her daughter there. She don't care if it's weeks after the fact, months after the fact, hell, a year after the fact. You here now. And I love that Johnny got to have a little bit of, FaceTime with his mother and stuff like that. Even though I felt like their visit was very short. But, she was just reminiscing with him, just happy that he had, he was John's namesake, basically. And he had that bond with John and they had those years together. Johnny pretty much put it out there like, listen, you back in town. You don't need to come to my trial or nothing. I don't expect you to come. She better go. You're her son. Absolutely, she should be there. No question. Hell yeah, Sammy got to be there. Even though I get where Johnny coming from because he know how his mother and father are. They toxic as hell. And they literally don't get along all the time. They may get along for like 5-10 minutes. Then somebody say something and it's on and popping. But Sammy got to be there. That's her son at the end of the day. I expect her to be at that trial. Even if, she's not a fan of EJ right now or he ain't a fan of hers. Listen, y'all got to put that to the side. This y'all son. You know what I mean? Like, that boy on that trial fighting for his life right now. He looking at attempted murder. Hell yeah, she got to be there. But I love the scenes, though, where she was by herself looking at John's photo and stuff, having those flashbacks. Because one of her flashbacks is definitely foreshadowing. Oh, it's foreshadowing. When she had that flashback about John telling her that, oh, Stefano is out of our lives. And she was like, I don't think so. I don't think he'll ever be out of our lives. Very foreshadowing, seeing as how Stefano's name been mentioned a lot more now. And folks are starting to question if he alive or not. Stefano is never going to die. Even if he really is dead, he ain't never going to die. Like, when you have a top tier villain, they never die. You know what I mean? They find ways. Like, even when they know they're going to die, because every villain know they're going to pass at some point. That's like Helena and GH. They create video messages, whatever they prepare. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they're not going to be here forever. So they set up things to be here even after they're long gone, so that way you never forget them. You know what I mean? Gifts, in a way. They leave their own little gifts, whether that be video messages, because a lot of villains usually predict things. They be like, I knew this was gonna happen, so I made a video for this occasion. So Stefano ain't never gonna go nowhere. And that was very, very telling, very foreshadowing. But it is good to see Sami back. I can't wait to see her and EJ together, because I know it's gonna be pure hell. Her and EJ are always funny as hell when they together, and I love it. Like, that toxic shit, oh my god, like, it is so funny. And Johnny's sitting here talking about he gotta get ready for his court hearing, but you strolling all around in the daggone square with Chanel, bringing her up to speed about what's going on with his mom, his visit with his mother and whatnot. So anyway, moving on from that, Felicity come up to Chanel and Johnny talking about her sister missing or whatever. Chanel pissed me off. Chanel asked the most dumbest question. I hate when people ask that question. What do you mean missing? It's self-explanatory. Why would you ask that dumb stuff? What do you mean missing? Missing as in they're not responding to texts, calls, no communication, have not seen you. Missing. What other? Chanel, come on now. You really need an explanation on what missing means? Missing. No phone call, no communication whatsoever. I have not seen you. Like, you haven't shown up home. You haven't slept in your bed. Missing, girl. And then they're going to go to JJ, because JJ and Julie realize they haven't seen Chad ass either, and wondering where he at. So, of course, Felicity and Chanel come over there to the Hortons, letting him know. And I see why the Salem PD pays JJ the big dollars, because he going to sit here, oh, Chad's missing? Cat missing? Oh, they must be together. No shit, Sherlock. 1 + 1 = 2, JJ. Duh, they're missing, sir. Like, Lord have mercy. And he ain't do a whole bunch of nothing. He went to that station talking about, I'm gonna put a bolo out. That's all you gonna do? Put a bolo out? That's what we doing, JJ? So, anyway. Chad and Kat still stuck in this damn elevator, because EJ, little cheap ass, didn't want to get it fixed. He gonna tell them, oh, we can get it fixed in the morning. What the fuck you mean the morning? You do realize people be up in that hospital all night, right? And you gonna wait till morning to try to get it fixed? EJ, y'all need to up y'all budget at that hospital. Like, all these budget cuts he over at that hospital doing, I would sue the hell out of him. I really would. I would sue the pants off of EJ ass, because these budget cuts got to stop. Like, you closing the pharmacy early. EJ, stop it. Now people getting locked up in there in the trapped up in the elevator. So they got the out of order sign on the elevator or whatever. This heifer cat talking about some jumping on top of trying to climb out of the elevator. I say, girl, if you don't just sit down and wait, because trying to climb out of an elevator over the top, or trying to get on top to climb out, shimmy out, whatever you're trying to do, it's not gonna work. And it didn't. I'm not even surprised it didn't work. I'm not even shocked. So the funny thing is, Julie and Marlena, they see the sign on the elevator, and that's when Julie start to get this bright idea, like, oh, they must be in there. Duh. So she started yelling for them, and they could all hear each other or whatever. So that's what baffles me. So they've been in that elevator all night. You can clearly hear somebody talking if you yell. And you mean to tell me nobody heard them? Nobody heard them in that elevator all night long. Not one soul heard them to help get them out of there. And usually when you get trapped in an elevator, you got that little that voice thing, and I think somebody did reach out to them while they were in there, but they was like, oh, they're gonna have to wait till the morning or whatever, because EJ cheat behind. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Like, you could have got a maintenance person to come fix that ASAP. Like, come on now. Julie, I understand why Julie don't like Kat, and I totally get it. After all the shenanigans Kat has pulled, I get why she don't like her. But for her to sit there talking about, oh, he always gonna be Abigail's husband. Listen, haven't you ever heard of till death do you part? And that's what Marlena was trying to tell Julie. She was like, Chad has every right to find love again. Don't that ain't that what you want for him? Oh, of course that's what I want for him, just not with Kat. Understandable, but you can't control that though. You cannot control that. If that's who he likes and who he's drawn to, who he's falling for, that's his business. You can't control it. You gotta respect it at the end of the day. You ain't gotta like it. Don't get me wrong, you ain't gotta like it. You just gotta respect people's choices. You know, but if they did get together, though, I damn sure wouldn't want that chick up in my house, though. No, Julie would have to put her foot down. Like, I understand, Chad lived with the Hortons now. I get it. But if you going to be dating her, she not to step foot up in my home. That's just a hell to the no. You don't like it, you can go get yourself a new place. Do what you got to do. But she not going to be up in my house. Absolutely not. I could respect it. I don't have to like it, and I don't have to like her. I just respect it. That's as far as I'm going. So I get where Julie coming from on that one. But you can't expect somebody to be single for the rest of their life either, though. Because that's where I thought Julie was going with it at first. I'm like, because she was like, oh, that's always gonna be Abigail's husband. I'm like, would you expect that man to be single forever? Like to never date, never get remarried at some point? Because that's not gonna happen. Like Marlena and Julie, I don't foresee them ever dating again or getting remarried after Doug and John have passed. I don't see that happening. Even with Maggie, after Victor died, I don't really see her dating again and all that foolishness. Because some people get to a certain age where it's like, they had their one true love. They was married to this person for 30, 40, 50 years. They gone. Now they just rather be single now because, the husband that they had, that's a tough act to follow for anybody that you date. You know what I'm saying? Those are pretty big shoes to fill, and whoever you get with are never going to fill them. So some people are just content with just being single, which is cool, and you just might find somebody, because I don't care how old you are. You could be 80, 90. You're going to find somebody if you really want to, a little companion or something. But when they got them elevator doors open and Chad and Kat was clinging to each other, Marlena was just standing there. She just had a okay. Julie was sitting there rolling her eyes like Julie don't like nobody. Like, it's very few people in that damn town Julie actually like, because it just seemed like whenever somebody pop up, Julie be rolling them eyes. She don't give a damn. And Chanel wants to sit here and thank JJ. I'm like, what you thanking him for? He ain't do nothing. JJ ain't do shit. Like, all he did was put out a bolo on them, and that's the hell it. That man didn't do a damn thing. Put a bolo out, and that was done. That's all that was. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Peace.